As a Ford employee, I get to give my friends a special deal.
It's friends and neighbors pricing.
You don't have to negotiate, it's hassle-free.
It's an inside deal.
Now for everyone. With Ford Friends and Neighbors pricing, get an F-150 for $9,638 below MSRP.
Welcome, Eagle Nation, to a special edition of Ask TK here at gseagles.com. We're sitting down with third-year athletic director Tom Kleinlein. You ready to be grilled?
Ready, absolutely.
And we haven't had a chance to sit down for a while. I'm sure there's been a lot going on campus, a lot of renovations, anchored by the Dan and Wanda Parish Hall of Honor.
Yeah, we recently redid what used to be our football facility. When our football offices moved over to the Ted Smith Center, we had a building that was the Dan Parish building that we decided to go back to Dan and Wanda Parish and ask them if they would make a contribution and help us out and relocating all of our women's sports and a lot of the operational side of our athletic department into that building. We went down and we visited with them, and we recently opened up that building, and there's a lot of renovations, a lot of graphics and nice things in that offices that kind of tell the story of Georgia Southern athletics across the board and talk about the comprehensive nature of our athletic department. And I know all of our sports that are in there: women's basketball, track, tennis, volleyball, and a number of the other women's sports are extremely excited to have a new office complex.
What are some of the other projects that we're working on?
Working on some things right now. We're looking at obviously figuring out a way to maybe bring in some video to our baseball complex here in the near future. Continuing the upgrades out at Paulson Stadium. The turf project is on schedule and ready to go for after the December game with Georgia State, and constantly looking at ways to enhance our facilities, but also drive revenue through those enhancements.
From this standpoint, what is the overall perspective and the overall status of our athletic department?
I think right now, when you look at what we've done in 3 years, I mean, this athletic department made a huge jump when it made the commitment to move to FBS football and move into the Sun Belt. When you look at taking an athletic department, not only moving conferences, but moving levels in football, that's a tremendous, tremendous leap. And we have done a great job. This department has done a great job of kind of answering all the questions and doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff that get us there. I think as we move forward, what we're trying to do and what we need to do is continue to build a comprehensive athletic department that competes at the highest level within the Sun Belt and continues to educate our young people at the highest level. And that's going to consistently or constantly look for ways to drive revenues to help support those endeavors.
Sticking with the FBS, a new challenge you've experienced is football scheduling. Take us through the process of that.
Yes, football scheduling. All of our fans, I'm sure, have an opinion on football scheduling. It is a tremendous challenge. When you look at what we did in making the move 3 years ago, when we started to schedule FBS games, one of the challenges that our fans may not realize is that we were new to the game. In a sense, we were coming in to a land of football scheduling where people had already been scheduled for 5 and 6 years out. So trying to find openings in people's schedule, when I began this process and you begin to start asking, hey, would you be interested in coming to Statesboro? I got a lot of, well, our first opening is in 2022. So that was the first challenge we had to work through. The next challenge we had to work through is we had to have enough games. That was the biggest challenge. We've got to have 12 games in order to be a Division I qualifier. So finding enough games, finding the right opponent, finding the competitive advantage is sometimes a huge mixture to kind of create the right cake when it comes to football scheduling. It can be a challenge. We are continually trying to explore the opportunities that are out there, and everybody has a different mindset when it comes to scheduling in terms of being an AD. Some people are risk takers and they don't sign games and they hold games to the very end. There's going to be, I'm sure there's an announcement, or people are aware of the announcement that may come down in Boone, North Carolina between Miami and App State. And that was an example of one school getting dropped and needing a game, and one school holding a game to the very end and being able to accommodate them. That's somewhat more of a risky undertaking. I don't know that we're exactly willing to do that. I'm also not willing right now for us to get into 2-for-1 deals. I think, when you get into a 2-for-1 deal, you really sell your program short. You really sell the value of your program is diminished when you say, you come to my place once and I'm going to go to your place twice, and then we lose the opportunity to get not only a buy game, but the revenue from that buy game back to the athletic department because we're going in essence for free one time. So there's a lot of those things that are in a mix. I get it. Our fans want to see Power 5 people come to Statesboro. I want to see Power 5 people come to Statesboro. And we will continue to work through that process.
You've got a very unique opportunity for revenue because the football team bowl eligible for the first time in program history. How much can you stress the importance of buying tickets to wherever Georgia Southern ends up for a bowl game?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge for a number of reasons. One, the way our finances work is that at the end of the day, we get 50% of the revenue from all of our bowl ticket sales that comes back to the institution. So that's a huge revenue opportunity for us. The second thing is it sets the tone for future years. It sets the tone that if we go to a bowl game and we don't sell our allotment of tickets, that sends a message to other bowl people about how well Eagle Nation travels or how well they don't travel. I don't foresee that as a problem. I anticipate that Eagle Nation will be extremely excited to go to their first ever bowl game, and it's actually one of the things that's been a selling point when I've been out on the road talking to bowl scouts, is they kind of know that we do travel very well. So it'll be very exciting for us to see how that turns out here in the next couple of weeks. And like I said, it is a great revenue opportunity because we get an opportunity when people buy tickets from us. We get an opportunity to put that revenue back in the athletic department.
Fans, of course, we've got basketball season starting this weekend. The men open up on Friday against Weber International. The women will be here on Sunday against Lipscomb. What are some of the things we can look forward to regarding hoop season?
Well, I've been to the exhibition game, and I've been, talking to both Coach Drown and Coach Byington. And one of the things they're going to both, Mark's going to emphasize being young and athletic, and I think you're going to see an exciting brand of basketball. And I think we're very athletic on the men's side. I think at times you're going to see things that people are going to get really excited about, and sometimes you're going to see things that you're going to scratch your head about. And that's why Mark is, in the job he's in. And I think he's going to do a great job of getting this team to play better, play faster, and grow up a lot quicker than maybe some people expect because they are very young. On Kip's side, you're looking at an entire cultural change on the women's side and the philosophical ways that he coaches. He's a methodical teacher. I think if you've come out and you've seen some of our early games, you can see a more organized presence to what we do on offense. There's a philosophical change to the way we're playing basketball, so a lot of that takes time. I think what Kip brings to the table is his years of experience as a head coach are going to allow him to kind of move that team along in a way where at times it may be challenging, it may be frustrating, but I expect to see positive results and in the end of the season see a change in culture in that program and us moving ahead.
I'm sure you've been asked many questions about this already, but the recently installed Georgia Southern versus Georgia State rivalry series, how's it going so far?
Well, it's our fans are very passionate about the fact that they don't seem to think that we're a rival with Georgia State, and I get that. I understand what our fans see in that, and they see App State and some other schools as our rival, and I respect all that. I think it was important to understand the concept of the series. The concept of the series was to be able to create some kind of series between us and Georgia State that was a comprehensive, across the board, competitive series in a lot of sports that maybe sometimes aren't at the forefront of athletic departments. And we compete against Georgia State in 16 sports. And we wanted to be able to go out there and say, hey, it's not just only what happens on the basketball court or the football field, but a lot of these other sports are very competitive and are rivals with Georgia State. It's also a series that allows us to talk a little bit about what our student athletes are doing off the court in terms of community service and what they're doing in the classroom. There's points awarded for community service, there's points awarded for academic performance. So at the end of the year, it really is something that gauges our performance against Georgia State across the board.
TK, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Athletic Director Tom Kleinlein, this has been Ask TK. You can check out more right here at gseagles.com.